At the end of the day, I'm here to help entrepreneurs design brands that guide them to seven-figure success. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Brand Doctor live stream. I am your host, Henry Kaminski Jr. from uniquedesignz.net. Today we have a topic that is very hot. A lot of people get very they get very excited about this topic of what's more important, branding or sales, right? So what I want to try to do today is bring some people into the live stream by sharing a link in the PMs. So if you have a strong stance on this particular topic and want to jump into the show live, just shoot me a PM on Facebook. Okay, this might be a little tough for those folks over there on YouTube, but if you are friends with me on Facebook, shoot me a private message and I will send you back the StreamYard link to get you live on the show, right? I'm getting inspired by Clubhouse over here, as you could tell. And we can talk about it live on this platform. I have some things that I want to kind of share with you guys. Jay Kingman said, this is going to be an interesting show. Yeah, listen, it's the good news is, guys, is it's a great topic of discussion. At the end of the day, what does it all mean, right? I just want you guys to see both sides of the coin, right? And it was funny because we were on Clubhouse not too long ago, right? Anthony Waite was actually there on this Clubhouse room, and there was the question, what should I be focusing in on, sales or branding? And there was a bunch of people that said sales, and then there was a bunch of people that said branding, right? And my question is, how can you sell without a brand? Okay. And I think it does come down to this question right here is, what is your end goal? Right? Because I got some comments before we even went live. I posted this last Friday and I got some great comments in the feed before, we even started this thing. And there was a lot of people that said sales, because they, the one guy said something along the lines of like, look at people who sell white label stuff on Amazon. They're selling, they don't really have a brand. And yeah, I agree, right? I agree. But what are you trying to create at the end of the day, right? What are you trying to create at the end of the day? Jay Kingman says, it was great hearing you on Clubhouse earlier today. I appreciate you for tuning in, dude. That was a great little panel. So what my question to you guys are this. Are you just trying to convert a customer into buying? Or are you trying to create an experience for your client? Okay. And I want people to get a better understanding of what branding was, because what I saw on Clubhouse was a little bit of a lack of understanding of what branding actually was. So I think his name was Tanner Chittister or something like that, something along the lines. I see his ads all day long of him hanging his 8 Comma Club award and his 2 Comma Club awards hanging all over in the background. He said, when I think of branding, I think big companies like Apple and Amazon, and that's what I think of branding. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because when I think of branding, I think of the feeling that people get when they interact with that business, right? That gut feeling when they interact with that business. So at the end of the day, my question for you guys is this, and chime in, please. I want this to be interactive. If you have questions, if you want to debate this, if you want to challenge my thoughts here, please, I encourage it. I want to get your feedback. I would love to hear your side of the coin, because it only allows me to get a deeper understanding, right, of where you stand. So at the end of the day, what is your end goal, right? If you are a personal brand, right, you may be a speaker like Anthony Waite, you may be a coach, you may be a consultant. When I interview these types of folks and ask them what their end goal is, they talk about legacy. They talk about leaving an energy or a feeling behind that will go on to really outlive them, right? Gary Vaynerchuk talked about this in a blog post. He said, "I want a positive reaction. When somebody thinks of my name, I want them to have a positive reaction." Okay, great. So he's building brand all day long, and you hear him constantly talking about, I don't sell anything, I give away everything for free, so on and so forth, right? But his focus is creating an experience and creating a feeling that is going to be left behind long after he's dead, right? It could be years from now, but he is concerned about creating that feeling, right? Now, there's other folks out there, and I see this a lot in the internet marketing space, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody in particular, right? But I see a lot of people here one day, gone the next. They may have their 15 minutes of fame and then they're gone. And when I see that happening, I'm thinking, okay, their end goal was transaction. They just wanted to make a whole bunch of money real fast, and then they're gone. And listen, whatever floats your boat, right? That's not necessarily what I'm trying to do, so I don't really resonate with that, okay? And so, but that's the flip side of the coin, right? So I love what Anthony says here. When we are creating our brand, should it be centered around one theme? Like when you think of leadership, you think of Tony Robbins, you think of John Maxwell, right? So see this exercise, right? They focused their brand around one strong theme. When I think leadership, I think Bob Proctor, another OG in the space. Right? So to answer your question, Anthony, I think when you drill down into something very, very specific and you ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? Then that theme becomes very clear. And that's something that I help my Brand Accelerator clients with when we are going through the workshopping process of developing their brands, because a lot of times they're just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, and nothing is, because they're trying to talk to too many different people. They have too many themes, Anthony, that they're trying to wear as a brand, and it stops them. You know, it prevents them from getting very, very laser focused on who that person is, right? So Anthony's like, it makes sense. It allows you to start there when creating content as an anchor point. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to get at here, right? So getting back to the sales versus the marketing debate, right? A lot of the businesses that I see out there that do extremely well aren't necessarily selling at any given point. They're actually building brand. So if you let's take Apple, for example, they don't necessarily tell you to buy in their commercials. They don't. What they do show you, though, in their commercials is how life is going to be different when you use their products, and that feeling you're going to get when you start using their products. And that's the key. That's the difference, right? That's building brand, right? So when you're building relationships, you're building brand, right? And so my key focus is this. I think business is a long-term play. I think it is a long-term relationship at the end of the day. And it's funny. This is going to be 2021 is going to be my 15th year in business. 15 years. How have I been able to stay relevant over the past 15 years? How am I still up here doing what I'm doing and doing it successfully? Well, even through pandemics and crazy things that are going on. It's because I'm focusing in on building brand. From the thumbnail image that I designed for this, to the music that I use, to the softwares that I use, to the camera technology that I use. I am building brand. And I am staying relevant because of it. There was a quote that I saw. I forget who said it. I think it was Gary. He said, branding is not transactional. It's forever. It's forever. When you walk into the room and when you leave that room, whatever you said, whatever you did, however you looked, is going to have a forever imprint on the people that were in that room. And so that's why everything matters when it comes to branding, because you can't have, in my opinion, a premium price point and have a shitty looking brand. I think it creates a tremendous amount of distrust and skepticism. And there's a huge disconnect there. What about your messaging? You say one thing, but you do another. I'm guilty of it. I've been called out on it dozens of times in the past through Facebook ads and trolling and things like that. I very hardly get trolled now because I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing. And my actions meet my ambitions, right? They're congruent. But my brand alignment is very focused. And that's when you start to win, right? That's when you start to win. Think about this. Think about when you've jumped on a sales call with somebody and they are pushing hard for you to join whatever it is. What does that make you feel? And then when you get off that call, how are you going to talk about that brand later? What are you going to say? Well, they were a little pushy. They weren't listening to me. All they wanted to do was sell me. All they were focused in on was closing. And the list goes on, right? They weren't hearing me, all these things. And now you got a bad taste in your mouth. Now, the next time you experience that, you may even get a little angry. Think about the spam phone calls that we get all day long. I have my phone pretty much on silent all day. You have to leave a message for me to actually pick up my phone now, which is uncalled for, really. But look at what's happening. It's creating that experience, and it's not fun. It's not fun. So Jay says, I guess it's like selling the experience more than the product or service. Jay, that's phenomenal. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. People are going to resonate with an experience. People are going to appreciate an experience. more than just a fast talking sale. Steve Marinaro's in the house. What's going on, Steven? So when you're building brand, you're building relationships, you're building that long-term trust, you're building that relevancy, you're building that forever feeling when you're building brand. So I'm not saying one is more important than the other, but I'm saying one must come, in my opinion, before the other in order to sell. And the way that works is what your end goal is supposed to be. Because my belief is this: when you focus on building brand, you will outsell any salesperson on this planet. Bottom line. Because there's so much more to grab onto. The other way I look at branding is like this. When you create brand experiences, like the one I'm doing right now here via this live stream, when I'm creating this experience, what am I doing? I'm building a connection with Anthony Waite. I'm building a connection with Jay Kingman. I'm building a connection with Steven Marinaro. I'm building an experience with them as well. So when I am putting out offers, right, what are they going to connect with? They're going to remember experiences like this. They're going to feel it. And whether or not it's going to be a good fit for them is up to them. But that feeling is going to outweigh that fast-talking salesman, internet marketer, whatever, that fly-by-night 15 minutes of fame type of business. And we've all been solicited by these folks. We all know what that feels like. Yeah, Steven says, I learned ROE many years ago, return on experience. It's very true. What's the return on experience? So if you're just trying to make a quick buck, then yes, sales is more important. Absolutely. Just go out there and sell. You're not trying to build a legacy. You're not trying to build an experience. You're not trying to build a relationship. But a lot of my personal brand clients, a lot of the influencers out there that I've been studying and researching and asking questions to, they're all about legacy. They're all about leaving an impact on this earth. They focus on reputation. They really do. And they want it to be positive. The other thing that strengthens brand, or I should say, the other benefit of building brand is that it improves brand loyalty. It improves engagement. It improves client acquisition. Because when people have a positive experience, they're more likely to recommend, right? You're going to get better reviews. Now think about this for a second. Why do people go to McDonald's? They want a quick meal, but those calories that they intake are not going to last them throughout the whole day. They're going to have to eat again. Versus eating broccoli, which is it takes a lot longer to digest. It's going to keep you filled more. It's going to keep you full more. And it's harder to prep. So, and the nutritional value goes a lot further to helping your health. So I guess at the end of the day, guys, it comes down to the end goal. of what it is that you're trying to achieve. And so I want you to think about this, for example, right? When you're building brand, think of an octopus. It's got 8 tentacles. And when you're building brand, it's like another tentacle is being formed, because that's another something that a potential client could grab onto. That's why I go on these Clubhouse rooms and I moderate and help other people. That's why I do these live streams, because I'm building these tentacles every single time. I love what Paul Sabay says. That's what you were born for. You were made for greatness. Deliver quality. Remember that mediocrity sucks. Yeah, people are going to pick up on that, guys. People are going to see right through the cheesy logo, the cheesy funnel. And the one thing that I have sort of a gripe with is a lot of these folks with these cheesy funnels, they want to leave a legacy. They want to create more impact. They want to be this go-to, but they don't know what it looks like. They have nothing to compare their current funnels to for them to realize that their shit sucks. And I hate to say this in plain English. And one of the biggest reasons why they're not achieving the goals that they're looking to achieve as a personal brand or industry influencer, or to create that respect and reputation and that presence online, is because they're not focusing in on brand. Brand is a much longer play, but it has a much stronger impact. And that's the difference. That's the big difference. So if you're thinking, all right, what do I need to be focusing in on? Because let's go back to the core question here that was asked on Clubhouse that day. What do I need to be focusing in on? Brand or sales? My question to you, my friends, is what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? And how do you want to show up? Do you want to be relevant and have a business 14 years later, go 15 years later like myself? Build brand. If you want to make a boatload of money real quick, just focus on sales, dude. Create your cheap looking funnels. Just get it out there and do what you can, right? But nobody's going to know who you are. I don't care how many Tucama Club awards you have or anything like that. If I don't like you because of the feeling that you are putting out there into the universe, I am not going to buy from you. Bottom line. It takes work to be a great brand. They need to show the flock up. Yes. And there's a lot of nuances to building brand because we're focusing in on so many tedious things, like what your clients want, what your clients needs, what their challenges are, why they should hire you and not the other person that does exactly what you do. We're building trust. We're building authority. We're building credibility. We're building legacy. We're building a presence. We're building a feeling. It's a lot harder to build a feeling than it is to build a funnel. Any monkey can design you a funnel. But can they build you something that truly represents what you stand for? If that is what you're looking to accomplish. I love Paul. Quit being phony and deliver, which isn't to say it gets down to one-time sale or a lifetime value customer. Yeah. Yeah. I love Paul because Paul sees right through the nonsense. He sees right through the nonsense. Here's a great from Beats by Dez. I always use the example: if Trump sells a blender and Ellen DeGeneres sells the same blender, who would sell more? It's who's ever more likable. That's a great little. I love that example, dude. I love that example. Yeah, I love that. It's a great point. People remember Russell Brunson and what he delivers. And to add to that, Paul, why do people remember Russell Brunson? Because he's built a hell of a personal brand. You know he's a man of religion. You know he's a man of family. You know he really cares about people. And you also know that he's one hell of a sharp entrepreneur, especially if you got to know him as closely as I did. He's a sharp cookie. And other sharp entrepreneurs see that. So he's got the goods. He's got sort of the full circle. But he spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy building that brand. Honest to God, ClickFunnels would not be what it is today if he wasn't the front-facing person. And now I love Todd Dickerson. I think he's a phenomenal human being with a tremendous amount of talent. Todd is the sort of the techie behind ClickFunnels. But I don't know if he was the front-facing character of ClickFunnels, if ClickFunnels would be what it is today. ClickFunnels also wouldn't be what it is today without Todd, because he's got the tech skill, right? But these two individuals know each other's strengths. They know who needs to build brand, and they know who needs to build the infrastructure and the tech side of it all. And they play well together. And that's how this works. They don't remember Jim Tonkowitz. Jim has no brand or following. Correct. Paul, please enlighten me. I don't even know who Jim Tonkowitz is. Who is Jim Tonkowitz? Perfect example. Perfect example. So, is sales important in business? Absolutely. If you don't sell, you don't have a business. Right? But what's going to drive those sales? It's those experiences that you create. Jim is a nobody. Both you and Brunson are the goods in what you give, and then ask. You both deliver 10x value. I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. I think what we need to really start to think about here is, what do we want our brand to be long-term? Or do we not want a long-term brand at all? So if you're building brand, it's going to take a little more time for... Oh, there was an animal that came sprinting past my window over here. It looked like a bear. It was a deer. But what do you want 2-3 years from now? Right? If it's just a quick cash out, then just build funnels. You know what I mean? Like just go for the quick buck. Like, I'm not hating on you for going on the quick buck. I'm not. That's you. You and I don't align. We would never work together. And that's okay. But if you're looking to build something sustainable over time and be able to either exit that or pass it down to somebody else or scale it to create more impact, then brand your best investment. Brand your best investment. Does this make sense? I hope this is resonating. If there's anybody that wants to come on the show and sort of co-host with me about this, shoot me a PM on Facebook and I will send you the link to come on and we could talk about this. Because I think this would be a phenomenal dialogue. Completely up to you. Don't feel like you have to. But I had to get this off my chest because a lot of people are thinking and going with the fast route. Let me just build me a quick funnel, guys. Henry, just build me a quick funnel. I don't need all this brand shit. And my first question is, why? Why do you think you don't need a brand? And what is your end goal? And the other question is a funnel going to really help you do this? I'm reading a great book right now called What's Your Problem? And it talks about redefining actual problems. And they have a great example of these tenants that live in a apartment building. And they're all complaining that the elevator's slow. Now, a knee-jerk reaction would be, all right, we need to replace the elevator. We need to make the elevator faster. This book is helping me and challenging me to reframe the problem. Because a lot of my clients come to me and say, Henry, I need you to build me a funnel. I need a funnel. And then when I ask them a few questions, they're like, holy shit, I don't need a funnel. I need a freaking brand. I'm not going to sell shit through this funnel if I don't build this brand. There's no experience. There's no feeling. There's just a logo and maybe a video, and there's just no presence. There's no feeling. It's hollow. They have no idea who they're talking to. This is a problem. So when I introduce the Brand Accelerator program to them and they see that, whoa, this is the full kit and caboodle. This is the full experience. Now I get it. Yes, putting a funnel before brand is not going to get me the results that I'm looking for, because I don't work with fly-by-night people. I don't work with the 15-minute famers. I work with people that want to build a business and brand around themselves, that really want to make impact in this world and be remembered for something. Like I want to be remembered for something when I die. Look at this. Paul Sabay. Branson redefined himself as a brand and not a product sales guy. Yes, and he did a great job with it. He did a great job with it. I love what Beads by Dad says. Branding can take so long, though. Starbucks started in 71, but didn't get popular to the 80s, then in the 90s when it went public. Yeah, you're right. It did take long. But look at the payout now. Look how much Starbucks is worth now. A little bit of patience, Beads, goes a long way. Right? If I was worried about building my brand and how long it was going to take, I would have built something real cheap, real fast. But I promise you one thing, Beads. I wouldn't be talking to you here today. I wouldn't. Because I would be on to the next thing, and I would be a hopper. Just hopping from one opportunity to the next. Like a gypsy. And God didn't put me on this earth to be a gypsy. Paul's on fire today. He went to the boiler room, then went broke to a brand now worth $300 million. By asking yourself, what problem are you solving? Also remember this long-term, not fly-by-night. Yep, that's what we're talking about. How many marketers are gone now? Yes, that's a great point. Beads by Dev says, you're right, patience. Right. So I'm happy that this didn't scale out of control because, I saw a lot of passion and feeling behind some of the comments that were left underneath this thumbnail before I even went live over the weekend. And I didn't know what this live stream was going to turn into. It could have been a hot, heated debate. But it sounds to me that my tribe, the folks that follow me, the folks that connect with me, the folks that resonate with me, are seeing both sides and understanding the difference between brand and sales. Oh, I love this one. Bede says, but I see so many people on IG stating how they make like 10K, 100K a month, and they make it look so easy. Okay, can we talk about this for a second? Let's talk about this. I see them too, Beads. I'm calling you Beads. I know your name's Dez, but all right, let's go Dez. Dez, I see this all day too, right? And here's the thing. Don't trust everything you see. Because I was in a Clubhouse room the other day, and this guy was trying to pitch his business, and the guy leaded with, over the past 2 years, I generated $700,000 in revenue with this product. And you know what one of the sharks or one of the investors asked them right after that? How much of it was profit? Now, the guy was up there. He couldn't lie. He said it took $700,000 for me to get there. What? So these people may be making $100,000 a month, but what are they spending to get there? Ask yourself that question. They may be spending $100,000 to get there, or they may be spending $90,000 to get there, and they're taking home 10. They're taking home $10,000. It's the truth. So it's easy to let those types of posts get under your skin a little bit and make you compare a little bit and make you impatient. But I challenge you to see through that. How about the funnels that have 250 testimonials on it, but there's like a paragraph of what the product like actually does, or what the person behind that product actually went through to create that product in the first place. When I see 250 testimonials on a sales page, on a funnel, I'm like, what are you overcompensating for? It's like stuffing a sock down your pants. I hate to say it, but it's like, it's the truth. If your product was that good, would you need 250 testimonials? Probably not. You probably could use a half dozen of them and they would be just as impactful. Why? Because you built brand around the product, the service. I hope this is making sense. And that's why I'm so passionate about building something long-term. And, you know, I may be a little biased with this, okay? I have a really cool guest coming on the show on my podcast. In the next couple of weeks, Wednesday, we're going to sit down. He's my second cousin. So my mother has an uncle, and that uncle has a grandson. So that's my second cousin, right? Him and his father are running a family business. So my great uncle started this real estate development company 75 years ago. How do you think that business is still around for 75 years? If they didn't focus on building a brand around the family name. My uncle, take him for example. I don't know if it's this year or it was last year. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But he has a construction company as well. So great uncle does real estate development. They build buildings. My other uncle builds highways. How is he around building highways for 50 plus years? He built brand. When people see the last name, when people hear the last name, because that's the name of the company, right away, they think quality work. They think longevity. They think hard work, because these both of my uncles came from nothing. They think integrity. Got it? I like what Jess says. Paul says, you hit it. Branding is resonating with your people. Branding is relationship marketing combined with servant leadership and being true to your products and people. Yes. That's the feeling that I want people to get when they interact with me. I want them to feel like if we had to go to war and you had to jump in the foxhole with me, that we're both coming out alive. And I can promise that. That's the feeling. Paul says, I love the mood lighting. You can actually see it now because we haven't had, it's kind of a dreary day today. So you can actually see the lighting. When it's bright and sunny, you can't really see it that well. But yeah, I like the lighting too. It's really cool, especially at night. All right. So Bede says, oh yeah, and you have cool lighting. Yeah. So Jessica Calderon says, I would say branding is more important and sales will follow. Jessica, why do you think that? I would love for you to chime in here in the comments. Why do you think branding is more important and sales will follow? Love to get a different perspective, right? Marketing and branding is war. Yeah, it is. And you know what? It's funny you bring up marketing, Paul, because guess what? Marketing is what ties branding and sales together. When you have a great marketing strategy, you can tie the branding to it, and that marketing is going to lead to the sale. Right? So it's a three-prong approach here, guys. It's not one or the other. Marketing's really going to help you, but here's the problem. People aren't creative. Right? People aren't as creative, or they don't give themselves enough credit of being creative. And I was listening to sort of my morning ritual. I go to YouTube and I go to the Law of Attraction YouTube channel and I listen to, the new video out. And I think it was John Maxwell that said, the reason why I'm obsessed with asking questions is because it fuels my creativity. Paul says, people need to remember it's a global market and everyone is competing with you. Yeah, and it's a lot easier to compete these days. Look at the technology, look at social media, look at, it's amazing how everybody's an expert. Branding allows you to stand out from the herd. Absolutely. Des says, but she makes sense, right? If you have a great brand recognition, then the sales will come. Yeah. But you also have to have a good product. Right? You have to have a good product too. So yes, positive brand recognition is going to lead to brand loyalty, which is going to lead to more positive reviews, which is going to lead to more sales. Why? Because people buy in tribes. People buy in tribes. They don't want to be the first one to get killed. So they're going to let other people go first and see if it works. So that's the power of brand. When you build that experience, when you build that feeling inside of someone, That's what's going to go long term. Oh, great. Jessica got back. Because I feel it gives customers a chance to know and trust you, the company. Also helps them feel their voice is being heard, which would help them to be a returning customer. What a phenomenal, phenomenal point. This is great stuff, guys. I really appreciate you guys interacting here. I love doing these live streams like this because it's a dialogue, it's a conversation, right? This is the example. I'm gonna use me as a guinea pig here. This is the way I build brand. I love video. I love audio. That's why I have a podcast. This is how I connect with you guys. Otherwise, I'm just another brand guy. And we all know they come a dime a dozen. Why do you pick me? Why? Because you trust me. You got to know me. You know how many times I've done brand assessment calls and they say, I feel like I already know you already. Just let me know what the process is and let's just get this damn thing started already. Ask Sandra Morrow. That's exactly how she came to me. She said, I'll go through your process, but this is more of a formality. You're my guy. I just want to get this done. How did she come to that conclusion? Because she trusted me. Because I built brand. That's why it's so important. Because if there's no human-to-human connection, you're not going to have that sale. And you're building brand whether you know it or not. It's so funny. The guy in Clubhouse that was so adamant about sales is more important than branding. And he says, I didn't have a brand. I sold my body. He's in the fitness space. Tanner's in the fitness space. I sold my body. And I used my body to sell. Well, your body's a brand, pal. Your body's a brand. You as a person is a brand. Whatever you were putting out, I didn't know him back then, but whatever you were putting out was resonating. But he didn't see brand that way. He saw brand as like this big box store. And that's just a lack of understanding what branding is. And that's okay. Not everybody eats, breathes, and sleeps branding like someone like me. But he had a brand. He was using his body as his brand. I have another client, Jason O'Neill. He's coming on the show tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. This guy has generated over $370 million on Amazon. And he'll tell you, he had a pretty ratchet brand for a few years and he made tremendous amount of sales. He was able to build a strong community and a huge client base and generate that kind of money using e-commerce with a shitty brand. How was he able to do that? Because he built a strong personal brand. People trusted him. They liked his aggressiveness. They liked his attitude. They liked how much he cared. This guy's the real deal. And when he brought me on, he says, dude, I'm ready to go to that next level, 10, 12, 15, $20 million a year. But I need a brand that represents that. And so now you have a strong personal brand plus a strong business brand identity. The opportunities that are going to come this man's way this year are unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hugo Carr had big marketing, product duct the last 2 years. Once you get it and have a good brand, don't cheapen your stuff. Absolutely. Myron Golden said something really cool on a Clubhouse the other day. He said, don't charge for your services based on what your competitors are charging for their services. because you're competing on price, right? He said, charge what you truly feel the value that product delivers. So when he finally believed in himself that his service, he helps people sell from stage, was worth $30,000 at a minimum. This is just coaching. He started charging $30,000 because he knew his services was going to help those folks at a minimum make at least 30 grand with that information. And then he scaled it from there. But it's when he believed it, when he created that experience within himself and for his clients, the light switch went on and his business exploded. CompUSA was a big brand in commuter sales because of great salespeople and service. Yeah. The bean keepers got rid of the good salespeople and replaced with minimum wage people who knew nothing. And CompUSA is gone. So this was a great conversation, guys. I really enjoyed this. Thanks for coming on and sharing some time with me today. I thought this was going to be 30 minutes, and we're going on 50 freaking minutes here, and I love every minute of it. Believe me. That's what I'm talking about. So when you're thinking about putting a funnel together, when you're thinking about creating a website, when you're thinking about creating a social presence or a big social media following, I'm going to ask you, for what? What are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? You want to get rich quick? Go hire a funnel monkey and see how far that gets you. If you want something sustainable, if you want something that really represents you, if you want something that is going to clearly articulate the value to your ideal clients, you want something that really is going to outlast your competition and be relevant 14, 15, 20 years later, like it has for me and the clients that I've served, then focus on brand. It's like investing in a house. Like we bought this house 5 years ago and, we really made it ours. It was in great shape when we bought it, but we really made it ours because we branded it the way we wanted. And it's going to outlive us. And that's the key thing here, is really paying attention to why you're doing what you're doing. So quick buck, go to cheap route. If you want something long term, put in the work. It's the bottom line. And let me tell you, you don't have to do this yourself. You don't have to do this yourself. And this shouldn't be hard for you. It shouldn't be a matter of how do I get all this done? It should be a matter of who's going to help me put this together. We got the Brand Accelerator program, guys. It's a 90-day commitment. It's not cheap, but you get it done. And we get it done right. And we get it done customized for you. And that's the difference. That's the difference. Angst Patel came late to the party. What's going on, Angst? Real quick, quick story about Angst, and then I'll let everybody go. Angst has been on a weight loss journey, I would say, for the past year. or so, maybe even a little less, right? And he inspired me so much. This guy's down, I don't know, 65 pounds, 70 pounds. Angst, tell us how much weight you lost in pounds. He inspired me so much. I said, I got to get my weight together because I feel like a floppy old whale over here. 7 months it took him. But when I watched him weighing in and sharing all of that, he lost 63 pounds, guys. 7 months of weight loss to 63 pounds he lost. This guy inspired me so much. I said, you know what? I'm on a mission. Right around Halloween, I was 205 pounds. I am 182. I'm 182 pounds today. And I said, I'm going to do it through the holiday season. I'm going to do it through COVID. And I'm going to prove a point that my outside surroundings doesn't mean anything. How bad do I really want it? I got 2 pounds to go to hit my goal. 2 pounds. And I'm going to hit that this week. But angst, my friend, you were the one that triggered that. So I just want to say thanks. And last but not least, Jay Kingman. Dude, there's some golden nuggets of advice here. Thank you. I'm happy that you tuned in, Jay. I'm happy that you found that. Jay runs a creative agency like I do, and he's been tuning in my YouTube channel and Facebook group, and now he's on Clubhouse. I'm happy to see that you got an invite in there, and I'm happy that I could serve you in a way that I'm serving you. I'm not worried about competition here, guys. Nobody's going to do it like Henry, right? Jay's got his way, I got my way, and there's 7 billion people on this planet. There's plenty of people to go around. So if there's anything else I can help you with, Jay, you reach out, you let me know. I'm happy to help you, bro. Right? What am I going to do with it in my coffin? What am I going to do with this information in my coffin? I can't take it with me. You know what I mean? Hank says, awesome. Same rain, snow, or sun, baby. Goals remain the same. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to really help you get a chance to see and understand. This is, for me, it's listen, it's not about the money anymore, man. I have money. It didn't make me any happier. Makes things a little easier, right? COVID was a little easier to get through, but it didn't make me any happier. So this is what I was meant to do. I wanted to be an example, so I had to do it for myself first. And I still got such a ways to go. Like, I have so much more to learn. But I love what I do. And I'll continue to share that experience. I'll continue to share that energy and that frequency. And those folks that want to connect with me and work with me and put in the time, effort, and money to do it, then it's going to be a great connection. Why? Because I'm building brand. That's it. So I'm going to get out of here. Just read the branding allows you to step into greatness. Yeah. Absolutely. So have a blessed week, gang. Thank you for the nuggets. Yep, Paul. Awesome stuff. Thanks for participating. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, you want to challenge this conversation, please shoot me a DM, shoot me a PM, drop me an email at info@uniquedesignz.net. Let's have this conversation. If you need help building a brand that really is going to outlive you and create a legacy that's going to get you the clarity and focus to really go on and create a massive impact in this world with your superpowers and God-given talent, then I recommend you taking the time to go through a brand assessment program. It's a 45-minute call. Sometimes it goes a little longer. I don't care how long it takes. I'll get you the clarity and focus. And if it makes sense to do the Brand Accelerator program, I'll offer it. If it doesn't make sense, then I'm going to point you in the right direction. At least you'll know what you need to do and how you need to do it. And then it's up to you. It's not going to build itself. It's not going to build itself. So have an amazing day, guys. I got to go get my little guy. I'll see you tomorrow. We have Jason O'Neill, the e-com master, coming on the podcast, and I can't wait to share with you. So have an amazing day. I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care. That's